could tell immediately that it was not something given lightly. "I can't take this," she said quickly. Mama Grace held her hand. "You can." "No, Mama, this is too much." Mama Grace shook her head. "You are not just my daughter-in-law. You are my daughter. This house is yours too. You are loved here. You are safe here." Chica looked at her, then at Obina, and something settled in her heart. Blood had failed her. Love had built her a new family. That truth healed her more than money ever could. But while Chica was finding peace, Kemi's victory had already started rotting. Tunde and his family needed money badly. Their polished image was becoming harder to maintain. Tunde started pressing Kemi more openly now. One day it was for business. Another day it was for image. Another day it was for an urgent investment. He lied when necessary. He flattered her when necessary. He promised repayment when necessary. But inside, he had already made up his mind. Use her first. Drop her later. Kemi, still desperate to remain Mrs. Bello at all costs, kept giving in. She released money bit by bit. She defended Tunde when others questioned him. She told herself it was temporary. But the truth would not stay hidden forever. The Bello family was sinking. Tunde's image was cracking. His confidence had become forced. His money no longer matched his mouth. At the same time, talk of a huge wedding was spreading across the city. A mysterious and extremely wealthy man was finally getting married. Very few people had seen him openly. Many knew his investments. Many knew his power. But few knew the face behind the name. Naturally, high society was restless. People were talking, guessing, trying to get invited. Tunde heard the talk and immediately wanted in. If he could connect himself to that powerful man, maybe the Bello family could recover. Kemi wanted the same thing for different reasons. She wanted to be seen again. She wanted status. She wanted people to stop whispering. Neither of them knew the truth. Meanwhile, Chica's own wedding day was drawing close. Even after everything, she still found herself nervous. At times, she would sit quietly and wonder if she truly deserved a love this steady. A man like Obina still felt bigger than what she understood, not just because of money, but because of the way he loved without making it heavy. On the morning of the wedding, she was still sitting with those thoughts when Obina entered in full formal wear. For a second, Chica forgot where she was. He looked elegant, powerful, and almost completely different from the simple farmer she had first met. Yet he was still the same warm man, the same calm eyes, the same quiet way of speaking. He smiled when he saw her expression. "What is it?" Chica shook her head slowly. "You look..." He waited. She smiled shyly. "Too good." He laughed softly. "And you look beautiful enough to make me forget my own name." She looked away at once, smiling despite herself. That was the moment the two sides of him fully began to meet in her mind. The simple man. The powerful man. They were both Obina. The wedding venue was grand. Very grand. Villagers arrived with joy and open hearts, carrying gifts, prayers, and blessings. Business people arrived too, dressed in wealth and careful manners. Staff moved with intense focus. Henry was everywhere, directing things calmly, and the authority around him alone made it clear that this was no ordinary event. Chica saw it all and knew now, without anyone saying it directly, that Obina's world was much bigger than he had let her see. Then Kemi and Tunde arrived. The moment they saw Mama Grace and some of the villagers, they started again. Kemi looked around with open disgust. "So they let villagers into this kind of wedding now?" Tunde shook his head. "These people came to freeload." Some of the villagers heard and frowned, but before anyone could answer, Chica stepped forward. "Be careful how you speak." Kemi turned and laughed when she saw her in bridal wear. "What are you doing here?" Chica looked at her steadily. "This is my wedding." Kemi stared at her for 1 second. Then she burst into laughter. "Your wedding," she repeated. "Stop it. There is no way that village farmer is the one behind this." She looked around again, then said loudly, "The man behind this must be someone polished, powerful, and important, not Obina. That was when Henry stepped in. His face was serious. "Watch your words," he said. "You are speaking about my boss." Tunde frowned. "Your boss?" Henry turned slightly toward Obina, who had just approached. "Sir, should I have them removed now?" The words hit like thunder. Kemi's face emptied. Tunde went still. "Boss. Sir." Everything around them suddenly made sense at once. Obina was not just a rich farmer. He was the powerful man everyone had been whispering about. The mysterious tycoon. The man behind the influence. The richest man among them all. And he had been standing in front of them this whole time. Kemi looked like the ground had shifted under her feet. Tunde's pride broke right there. Everything they had mocked was suddenly greater than everything they had chased. Before they could recover, Obina spoke. "They were warned before." Henry nodded. Security stepped in. Kemi tried to protest. Tunde tried to talk, but nobody was listening now. They were escorted out in public shame. And inside the grand hall, while they were removed like troublemakers, Chika and Obina got married. It was beautiful. The villagers blessed them with genuine love. The guests watched with admiration. Mama Grace cried openly. Chika stood beside Obina, no longer as the rejected daughter from a painful home, but as a woman finally chosen fully and openly. When Obina took her hand, it felt steady. When he looked at her, it felt real. By the time they finished exchanging vows, Chika knew one thing clearly. She had not lost her life when she was sent away. She had found it. Outside that joy, Kemi and Tunde were already turning on each other. Tunde blamed her for provoking Chika and Obina too many times. Kemi blamed him for being weak and useless. Their words grew sharp. Old cracks widened. Money became the new battlefield. Kemi demanded the return of what he had taken. Tunde denied, excused, and shifted blame. Soon, his business problems worsened. The Bella family's weakness could no longer be covered. This time, Obina did not ignore it. He made one decisive move through the same business world that had once hidden his face. Quietly, cleanly, and completely, he cut off the Bello family's last real support. That finished them. Tunde's business collapsed. His family's power died with it. His marriage to Kemi broke under the weight of accusation, greed, and public shame. In the end, Kemi was disgraced. Tunde was ruined. Their marriage fell apart into divorce, blame, and humiliation. It was everything Chika had warned Kemi about from the very beginning. After Kemi's marriage collapsed and the Bello family lost what was left of their standing, Mr. Obiora appeared at Chika's new home with Kemi beside him. By then, Chika was living with Obina in a grand mansion, though the peace inside it still felt warmer than all the show she had ever seen in her father's house. The gate was high, the compound was wide, and everything about the place spoke of quiet power, not noise. When the security men informed her that her father and Kemi were outside, Chika stood still for a moment. She did not expect apology. She did not expect tears. But some small part of her still hoped for shame. What came instead was worse. She received them in the sitting room. Mr. Obiora looked older now, more tired. Kemi looked worn too, though pride still sat stubbornly on her face. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. Then her father cleared his throat. "Chika, we came to talk." Chika looked at him calmly. "Say what you came to say." He shifted in his seat. "Things are not as they were before." She almost laughed at that. Kemi spoke next with less patience. "We need help." There it was. No apology. No regret. No real repentance. Just need. Chika looked from one face to the other and felt something surprising inside herself. Not pain. Distance. She folded her hands in her lap. "I thought we already settled this. I told both of you to act as if you never had me." Mr. Obiora frowned. "Don't speak like that. Blood is blood." Chika's eyes stayed on him. "Blood did not matter when you stood in front of me and openly chose Kemi again." Kemi hissed in irritation. "Are you still holding on to that?" Chika turned to her slowly. "Still?" Kemi leaned forward. Whatever happened before, we are here now. You are rich. Your husband is rich. Help us and stop acting proud. That line almost stunned Chica. After everything, Kemi still had the boldness to speak like that. Chica shook her head. No. Both of them looked at her.